Mirror. I paused while looking at my face in the mirror, toothbrush frozen halfway to my mouth. When the hell had those circles under my eyes gotten so dark? I was getting plenty of sleep, at least, it felt like I was. And for that matter, when had my cheeks started getting so ruddy? With the purple under my eyes and the red patches on my cheeks, all of a sudden all I could see of my face was the blotchy patchwork quilt of my imperfections. I sighed deeply as I stared at my reflection. I could tell that turning 30 would be really rough on me. Still, I tried to find something to like about my appearance today, so that I didn't spend the whole morning miserable in my bathroom. I finished brushing my teeth and grinned at myself in the mirror. My teeth were still okay, still straight from the 3 years of braces I'd had to suffer through in high school, although not quite as white as they could be. I made a mental note to maybe throw some white strips in my shopping cart next time I got groceries. Okay, so my teeth were just okay. How about my lips? They were smooth and moisturized, not cracked like many others were in this never-ending winter, but they would never be the plump, Angelina Jolie-like lips that men went crazy for. After forcing my gaze up from the dark circles, I had to admit to myself that my best feature was probably my eyes. I had my mom's eyes, green with tiny little specks of gold in them. In fact, that had always been my little test in the past to tell if someone was really looking me in the eyes or not. If someone said that I had blue eyes, which many had, then I knew that really, they were barely making eye contact with me. On the other hand, if a guy I was dating looked into my eyes and commented on how beautiful it was that I had little flecks of gold in them, then I knew that we were starting to fall in love. I leaned in closer to the mirror, staring into my own eyes to try and see the flecks for myself. My reflection blinked. I jumped back from the mirror, knocking lotions and a lipstick into the sink as I flailed backwards. My heart was pounding. What had just happened? I tried to convince myself that I had indeed blinked, and the mirror was just reflecting what I was doing, same as always. But deep down, I knew that that really wasn't the case. My eyes had been wide open, staring, while the eyes in the mirror had closed. I had jumped so far back that I was practically inside my tiny stand-up shower. The plastic shower curtain rustled against my back as I hesitantly stepped back toward the mirror. This was stupid. Clearly, I had imagined it. Reflections don't blink. That is, not unless you do. Cautiously, I raised my left hand up to my shoulder. My reflection lifted her hand too. I did the same thing with the right hand. So did the girl in the mirror. I waved my hands back and forth as fast as I could. I jumped up and down. I shook my hair until it felt like my brains were about to fall out. Every single movement, no matter how fast or frenetic, was perfectly mirrored across from me. Finally I stopped, my heart pounding both from nerves and from the impromptu workout. I eyed my mirror warily. Everything seemed totally normal. Maybe I had imagined that blink. Sighing, I turned on my heel and stalked out of the bathroom toward my bedroom. I had to get to work. I didn't have time to deal with my own overactive imagination. I pulled on my dress pants and buttoned up my blouse, then hurried down the hallway toward the front door. As I crossed back in front of my bathroom door, I paused. There was definitely a strong urge to examine the mirror one last time, just long enough to switch on the light, check out my reflection, and then leave. But that would be stupid. The whole day at work, I felt stressed and oddly jumpy. When I had to use the bathroom at the office, I tried to subtly time it so that I would enter and leave the washroom at the same time as at least one of my coworkers. And when I washed my hands afterwards, I tried my best to avoid looking in the mirror at all. I felt silly, like a little girl still afraid of the boogeyman, but something inside me was still convinced that I hadn't imagined that blink at all. The rest of the week was odd. I tried to do as much of my morning routine as I could right after I showered, brushing my teeth and combing my hair while the mirror was still fully fogged up by the steam. I would throw my hair into a ponytail and swipe on some mascara in my bedroom. I tried to tell myself that I wasn't avoiding my reflection, that I was just so rushed in the mornings that I was trying to streamline my routine, even though deep down I knew that wasn't the only reason I was avoiding getting ready in front of the bathroom mirror. I had started keeping a spare toothbrush and some face wash by the kitchen sink, thankful that I didn't have a roommate to judge my increasingly odd behavior. But one night, all of that changed. It was a gloomy, rainy night, the kind that seems to wrap you inside your house, and with nothing better to do, I had decided to paint my toenails. Not in the bathroom, of course. I knelt down to gather the nail polish, base and top coat, file, nail clippers, and polish remover so I could polish my toes while watching a movie in the living room. As I stood up, arms full of nail paraphernalia, I caught sight of my reflection in the corner of my eye. My reflection wasn't holding anything. Stunned, I dropped my arms to my sides. The tiny glass bottles clattered loudly into the sink. The girl in the mirror flinched, so faintly that I almost didn't see it. I ran into the hallway and slammed the bathroom door as hard as I could behind me. I leaned trembling against the door and slid down onto the floor. This time, I was absolutely sure that my reflection wasn't reflecting me at all. This time, it wasn't just a quick flutter of an eye movement that I may or may not have seen. No, a second ago, I had been holding half a dozen little things in my arms, and that thing in the bathroom that looked so much like me had absolutely nothing. I had to get out of this house. I had to find somewhere else to stay, somewhere that didn't have some weird evil haunted mirror that was probably trying to harm me somehow. I could call my sister Kate, have her come out here and pick me up. I lived 20 minutes outside of the city, so it was a bit of a hike for anyone to come and get me, but hopefully she would understand. I reached into my pocket to get my phone, and then froze when I discovered it was empty. My phone was in the bathroom. I gulped. There was no other way around it. To get out of my house, I needed to get my phone, call someone, and get out of there, and that meant going back into the bathroom. I fought back panicked tears. It's okay, I can do this. All I had to do was open the door, shoot my hand in, grab the phone, and then slam the door and get to where I could call my sister. Easy, 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 right? It would probably be easier if my hands weren't shaking so badly, but that was just something I would have to work with. I threw open the door and darted my hand over the floor. There was nothing but bare tile. Shit. Whipping my head around the door frame, I glanced into the bathroom and saw my phone on the other side of the room, against the far wall. There was no way I could reach it from where I was in the hallway. I couldn't avoid it. I would have to go into the bathroom. Taking a deep breath, I launched myself into the bathroom toward my phone, careful to face away from the mirror. As my fingers reached out and brushed against my phone, I heard the bathroom door slam behind me. I stood up and whipped around, standing face to face with the girl in the mirror that I had been avoiding. But the girl in the mirror wasn't looking back at me. Instead, she was staring at the closed bathroom door, an expression of pure terror on my face. Finally, she turned her head until she was facing me. Slowly, silently, she lifted one shaking finger up to her average, non-Angelina Jolie lips. SHH. Bang. Something heavy thudded against the bathroom door. I jumped, and my phone flew out of my hand and into the toilet. Bang, bang, bang. I stumbled back into the shower, huddling against the tiled wall. A low, snarling growl rumbled from the hallway. I tucked my knees into my chest and wrapped the shower curtain around me, as if a flimsy layer of plastic could somehow protect me from that thing outside the door. I dared to glance up and saw my reflection, if you could still call her that, standing up and staring at the door, as if willing it to stay strong against the repeated onslaught. Squeezing my eyes shut, I wrapped my hands around the shower faucet, expecting at any second to be ripped away by the creature in my hall. After what seemed like hours, the pounding and snarling finally stopped. I forced myself to stand on shaking legs and look at the girl in the mirror. She looked at me and, after a moment, nodded one small, slight nod. I nodded back, the same almost imperceptible motion that she had just made. Then, in perfect synchronicity with me, my reflection reached for the door handle and switched off the bathroom light. I still have no idea what exactly was in my hallway that night, other than a faint smell of wet fur and charcoal that lasted a couple days. My house has been completely normal. Believe it or not, though, things have actually been better since that night. I moved my toothbrush back into the bathroom, and I've started wearing makeup again. Sometimes I worry about what other strange guests might visit my house, but I'm not afraid. I know that I have the girl in the mirror looking out for me. In fact, last night, when I was brushing my teeth, I could swear I saw her wink.